So whatever you think about Toy Story 4, whether it should exist or not, one thing is very clear. You have to go see this if you love Keanu Jesus Christ Reeves. I think that's his middle name legally now after this week. They've probably changed his name legally to Jesus Christ Reeves.
It's Patrick Beatty Reviews, the #1 for news. It's Patrick Beatty Reviews, #1 for news. Yeah. Tune in, get up. Yeah, what's up?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What is up, my gaggle of geeks? Time to talk about Toy Story 4. And whenever you think about Toy Story, or for that in general, Disney and Pixar, and their long list of very successful and not successful films, the franchise that stands apart to everybody is Toy Story. It's a franchise so many kids literally have grown up with and have gotten all of the benefits and life lessons each one of them have taught them. And in this story, Woody and the gang are introduced to a new toy created by their new kid, Bonnie. This toy, Sporky, played by the always funny Tony Hale, runs away from home, leading Woody on a new adventure to find him and return him to Bonnie. Old and new friends are made in this new addition to a franchise, as Woody will discover there's more to this great big world besides being a toy for a kid. And I, for one, had a great time watching this film. It is not a throwaway. It is not something that you could look at and say, oh, this is Finding Dory or Cars 2 or 3 or however many more they're trying to make. It actually is a really great film. Much like the previous installments, Toy Story 4 tells a toy-centric story with real human themes throughout. It may not be as overt as the messages were before, however, I really enjoyed the more subtle storytelling of director Josh Cooley. It has a lot of similarities to Toy Story 3 when you're thinking of the overall message, but it's expanded on, it's kind of an add-in to Toy Story 3's message, and presented in a way that parents, kids, anybody could relate to this story just like the other three. We're also getting reintroduced to Woody's significant other, Bo Peep, which if you remember from Toy Story 3, not really there. Toy Story 2 I think was there for a little bit, but she's really not been a big character in the film. Mostly I think probably because Jesse brought in Toy Story 2 and Jesse was a big part of the films from that point on. But in this, Bo Peep gets a really fantastic character revamp that everyone will appreciate. If Bo Peep wasn't your favorite in any of the other films, which makes sense, she definitely has a lot more to do in this film and she has a lot more character development, which I really enjoyed. But the main character in this film is no doubt Woody, who for the first time in his toy life doesn't really have a driving purpose to do what he does. I love how Tom Hanks chose to portray him in this film, giving the character serious themes and a compelling story between himself and Bo Peep. Woody has always been a focal point in the Toy Story franchise, and so it makes sense if they were to continue a story 10 years after the final film, that they would focus on Woody, and I really liked that. And there are so many new characters to introduce in this film. Of course, you've got Sporky, played again by Tony Hale. I really love Tony Hale. If you haven't seen him in Veep or Arrested Development, you are doing yourself a disservice. You have to go see that. I think I'm gonna do a review for Veep just to talk about that. You have Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key both stealing the show in a couple moments that my theater definitely earned the most laughs in. You've got your main antagonist, Gabby, who's played by Christina Hendricks, who is a really well fleshed out and well-rounded villain. Maybe is the least villainous villain in any of the Toy Story films, where you can really understand where she's coming from, you understand her motivations, and you honestly root for her in a lot of points. And of course, the introduction of a character that I think this week everybody was excited for, Duke Kaboom, played by Keanu Reeves. Duke Kaboom is a Canadian stuntman. Just saying that out loud is funny. He has significant parts in the film, and I really loved seeing him in it. I loved the voice acting by all of the characters. It was great. However, the new characters do get a lot of moments, but a lot of the side characters from the previous films, such as Jesse, I mean, all of the characters really from the first three are kind of put to the side, except for Buzz Lightyear, who's really just kind of a running joke through the entire film. Maybe people will like that. Maybe people will think that's unfair to not include the original cast and only keep Woody in it. But to me, here's what it kind of feels like. If the other Toy Story films were like the Avengers, and then I would call Toy Story 4 like Captain America Civil War. Not in the sense that they're going to be fighting each other, but in the sense that it's really centered on Woody and not anybody else's story. That it's not really a gang story, a group story. The animation in this film is breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Even Keanu will be nice to you in your own review. I love this guy. The story is heartfelt and well told, but I felt myself really still going back to the question I'm sure most audiences will have going into the fourth installment of what's supposed to be a trilogy. Was this a needed and necessary installment to the franchise? To me, this is far better than a needless addition. In fact, I would say that this is a great addition to the Toy Story franchise. I would even go as far as to say it's just as strong, if not stronger, than some of the original Toy Story films in a lot of ways. And by that merit, it definitely earns its keep. To me, definitely go and check out Toy Story 4. I think everybody is going to be surprised because not a lot of people had some high expectations for this film. I'm gonna give Toy Story 4 an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely go and check this out. Kids and parents alike are going to love this film. Leave a comment down below on what you thought about the film. Whatever you thought, let me know down below. Once again, thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you at the next review.